welcome back to the 𝐚𝐭 homestead. I'm 𝐚𝐭, and today I have a very real confession, a very real announcement. She is no longer with us, and neither are her calves. So, good news, she's not dead, and I didn't sell her off to butcher or her calves. Bad news is I just don't have 𝐚𝐭 anymore, and I would like to share with you guys why and what exactly happened to her. I got 𝐚𝐭 back in May, so about 6 months ago, and I wanted a dairy cow because I wanted all the raw milk. I wanted to be able to be a little bit more self-sufficient, and it was absolutely amazing. There was so much milk. I showed you guys a video of me milking her, and the abundance of milk that she was giving. I was getting 3 to 6 gallons a day from her. Yeah, she was a huge producer of milk. And so this was my first dairy animal ever. I loved her, and then I dried her off in July, so I had about 2 months of milking, and then she unexpectedly had twins in September. I knew she was pregnant, but then she had twins. It was a great surprise. Well, after she had twins, the dynamic sort of changed. She could not bear being away from her babies, which is understandable, and being in the stanchion was so uncomfortable with her that I had to learn how to just milk her outside of the stanchion and share with her calves. And that was all fine, but it was becoming a lot. I think I mentioned this in another video, like I was thinking about selling one of the calves. Well, I did end up selling one of the calves, went to another homestead. I sold the more rowdy calf first, thinking that maybe it would make a difference. 𝐚𝐭 wasn't around when I sold the rowdy calf, so she didn't see, but it was interesting because she could tell her calf was gone because I had them on a separation schedule, and she came back and her calf was no longer here. And then it was a few more weeks, and this was back last month, and it was still just a lot. The new calf was a lot, and having to separate them, and it was just becoming a bigger task than I wanted, and I didn't want to separate 𝐚𝐭 and her last calf. Like, I wanted them to be together. So after a lot of pondering and being still drowning in milk, I was getting still so much milk even when I was calf sharing, like 1 gallon or more a day, and that is a lot of milk. And I understand I could sell it or do other things with it, but I just didn't have the time. I have my stream, I have a lot of other things going on, so it's becoming this big stressor to me. So I decided to sell her. This was their little home, and I just knew that 𝐚𝐭 needed to go somewhere, to someone who had a family with children or a community to use up all of her milk and maybe have a bit of a better setup. I mean, I have all the acres, all the grass and the buildings and everything, but the fencing was kind of an issue. Like, separating them, it was fine. I managed with that gate. I think I've showed you guys where I would have to manually open it, and so it's just becoming a lot. But this is where 𝐚𝐭 had her babies, and I wanted her to be able to stay with one of her babies, and that's what happened. Somebody who had a family reached out to me, contacted me, and said that they would like 𝐚𝐭, and they came over, and I showed them how to milk 𝐚𝐭, how you can just walk up and milk her, how she was super calm and sweet, and how I just milked with the calf. They love that, and they ended up taking her like 5 minutes later. I will admit that it was pretty sad when she got loaded up, her and her baby. I watched them, and she could tell that she was being loaded up, going somewhere. Hi, Mama. Love you. But the person who bought her is actually a rancher. He runs a lot of cattle, but he wanted a dairy cow for him and his family, and he's actually reached out to me and said that 𝐚𝐭 is the most amazing cow, and he's so happy because she's perfect for their family. And that made my heart happy that she went somewhere great, literally the nicest person ever, and that she has a family to give all of her milk to. I was drowning in the milk. I mean, I was finding uses for it. My animals drank it, my chickens, I'd make cheese for them. So I was finding uses. I just felt like it would be better for her to be somewhere else. I am so happy that I did get a dairy cow though, because it's something that I so wanted. I went out and I got her, I did it. And in the meanwhile, I learned how to build a stanchion. I built this. Super cool. So I leveled up in carpentry, and I'm totally going to keep this because who knows, maybe like one day down the line, I'll get another dairy animal. I could adjust this for goats, or if I get another cow, I don't know if I will, maybe, who knows. But I will definitely be keeping this. I'm sure I could probably sell it. Somebody would have to haul it off with like a tractor. But I learned a lot of things having her through making carpentry, how to deal with raw milk, having a relationship with an animal, because you think having a relationship with a cow isn't personable, but I am here to tell you that it is. These are animals that have low spirits and they have different personalities, and she definitely had such a personality. And like I said, it was interesting to watch her change a little bit after she had the babies. She was just became a very much of a mother, and her coming from a actual dairy, she didn't ever have the chance to stay with her babies. They were taken when she was born and sent off to another ranch to be raised and then sent off from there. So I think the first time of her being able to actually keep her babies probably shifted a dynamic that she has never experienced before. And so I myself just didn't want to separate her, and I'm so happy she got to go with her baby. Some of you may be wondering why I didn't sell her with both of her babies, and that is because I wasn't planning to sell her at all. I just thought if I sold one of her babies, the more rambunctious twin, that maybe it would change the dynamic. It would be more manageable because I was getting so stressed out. It didn't. It was still stressful, and that twin, I think I mentioned it, but she did go to an amazing home. That person has also messaged me, sent me photos, videos, and she is very, very loved. She's off to be somebody else's dairy cow, but I would have sold them all together, but I just did not know at the time that I was going to be selling Moo. It was a big decision for me because, as you guys know, the videos that you've seen, I really loved my Moo cow. At the end of the day, I learned a lot, like I mentioned, but having to clean up after multiple cows every day was becoming a lot. Having to come out here and milk my cow every day was also becoming a lot. And side note, I'm actually happy now that the snow is here, winter is here, and it is absolutely freezing outside, that I don't have to come and milk a cow every day, and that I don't have to worry about that. I can sleep in, I can actually like leave, because when you have a cow, you are responsible for milking them out, or else they could get mastitis. And having a calf makes that easier. You don't have to milk every day or every other day. You can just leave the calf on. But if you're not milking her, then her milk production will adjust to just the calf. So you do have to milk her. But like I said, I'm so happy now that like it's freezing. It's even cold for me to have my hands out of my pockets right now. So I could not imagine coming out and milking for however long I was milking and just sitting there freezing. And then separating them was also an issue because I just don't have the proper like fencing, because I separated them in the night and then let them go on to pasture during the day. And separating them was also so traumatic on Moo. She just could not handle it, even if she could see her baby. And I think that goes back to her growing up on a dairy and having her calves taken away. Finally being able to raise her calf was just a lot of emotion for her. Another thing that I'm happy I don't have to do this winter, besides milking and getting my hands cold, is getting water back there. It is absolutely freezing, and I don't have a spigot like this back by the barn, so it was a little bit difficult to get water back there. I would have had to haul it in a farm utility vehicle, and I was well prepared to do that, but again, time and stress and all of that for management. So because of all that, became too much for me, and I am just so grateful that I made that decision, that I was able to see that it was too stressful for me, and now I feel way better, like elated. Even though I loved her and everything that she served me with, I am just so happy that it was the best decision for me and my homestead. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, you can let me know in the comments. Don't do anything a gun wouldn't do, and I will see you guys next time. Until next time for the next animal. I think I realized I'm more of a chicken person. Okay, bye!